Okay, so welcome everyone to our League of Opportunities. This is Cesar Trabanco from the Chamber, and today I'm gonna be hosting the meeting because our regular host Doug Bronke is in a physical meeting in Phoenix. So it's a pleasure to having you all here. It seems it's gonna be a small group today, so I just invite everyone to put your details, your contact details in the chat, and start connecting from moment one. First member we would like to spotlight today is Joe Bert from Vigilant GTS, um, expert in trade, import, export, and Joe is gonna be talking a little bit about how the how trade is looking for 2025, given some possible scenarios with the new administration, and of course talk a little bit about his company and how he can help companies. In case you all know someone to connect with Joe. So Joe, welcome. Thank you.
Well, I thank you. I appreciate it. I am Joe Burks. I've been working in global trade for about 40 years now, importing and exporting all around the world. So part of what I do is keep up with what's going on in the industry. And I think for 2025, we're poised for a very tumultuous year. I say tumultuous because that's going to include some good things and some bad things. Some of the good things, we're seeing the African economy stabilize more, where trade is becoming a much bigger thing. They have the intra-African trade, but you're also starting to see them do more and more exports out of Africa. I know I've got a lot of friends that love Ethiopian coffee. It tends to be a little more mild and sweeter than most. So you're seeing a lot of that stuff come more and more into all countries, not only the US, but all countries. So I think Africa is poised for some good things. I think globally, US has been doing a lot of it, but globally, you're going to see more and more export controls around technology. The EU has started placing more controls around their high-tech chips that are developed and made in the EU. Of course, the US has been doing that for about a year or so now. So you're going to see more and more of that technology. But I think one of the key things that's on everybody's mind is, well, what's Trump going to do? Well, one of the key things afoot right now is Representative Molinar from Michigan has put a bill forth that says he wants to remove China from the most favored nation duty rates. So that would mean if they do that, then literally overnight, everything in China becomes a 35% flat rate duty. Okay, and that's starting. Even if he doesn't do that or that bill doesn't get put into the House, he's in the House of Representatives. If that bill doesn't make it, you're still going to see Trump jump forward and implement his own tariffs. He's using a special provision of the regulations called 301, and I'm sure most of you know about that 25% tax. The thing about the 301 tariffs that gives him more flexibility is on those 301 tariffs, he can choose to implement them product by product by product. By removing China from the most favored nation, that means everything will get 35%. So you're seeing a lot more of those types of things that Trump wants to implement. I think if your supply chain is highly dependent upon what's going on in China, you need to reassess. All I hear from my peers is the buzzword is nearshoring. Okay. But even with nearshoring, Trump has threatened Mexico that if they don't help stem the flow of illicit drugs and people coming across the border, that he will turn around and put a 50% tariff on everything coming out of Mexico. Now, these are threats, and we all know how they work, but we heard during the whole campaign that tariffs are one of his favorite tools, and I think he'll take advantage of those. So I think everybody needs to be aware and watch what Trump's going to do. And if your supply chain relies heavily on China, I think you really need to look at it again. So I've got a presentation that I prepared that highlights some of this. Cesar, I'll send it to you, and if you want to send it out to everyone, I'm all for that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. Sorry, I didn't know if you wanted me to share the presentation or if you was just fine to talk.
Well, I thought we'd
I
just
can.
talk through it and, leave if there's extra minutes, let people ask questions. But I'll share the presentation with you, and then you can share it out with everybody else once I'm done, okay?
Sounds good. Sounds good.
So any comments?
So Joe, thank you so much for sharing. I think it's very enlightening to have that perspective. So how much of considering Mexico's threat and also China's, how much of these did you see coming to the United States in terms of manufacturing? And what states do you think are going to be the most used for this purpose?
Well, I think I'll start with the first part of that one, Carlos. The first part, I think, is going to happen in the sense that he's going to put many, many more trade controls on China. Personally, I think that with the new president in Mexico, that they're going to start to negotiate, and at the end of the day, we're going to honor the current agreement, whether you call it, all three parties have different terms for it, but it's the USMCA agreement. Um, I think they will honor that because I think they'll want to play part of it. That's fair. So the states that are going to benefit from that, well, what you're already seeing through the CHIPS Act in the United States, there's more and more companies that are getting federally funded to have some of the wafer manufacturing. The wafer designs have been done mostly in the US for years, but they send it to Taiwan and Korea for wrapping. With all the threats that are going on in Taiwan, they want to be able to pull the higher end made chips back into the United States. And you can Google, it's under Biden, it's called the CHIPS Act, CHIPS. And there's a company in Arizona that's received, matter of fact, it's the Taiwanese company that has received a grant to build a plant in Arizona. And there's a couple of plants in the north end of Midwest, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. I think those are the big favored people that those areas are. Outside of that, I think you're going to see people try and start more manufacturing in the US. My gut feeling is that we're not prepared for it, so it's going to be very difficult. So if you've got critical supply goods, you need to be aware of what's going on.
Good question. So how does, like in Canada now, there's a movement to remove Mexico from the trilateral agreement because it's the conduit for Chinese goods to avoid tariffs. Do you think that's something that's going to go through?
Again, my gut feeling is everybody's going to sit down and renegotiate, okay? Because I mean, and I'm sure some, Juan Carlos, you can say there that Mexico, it's my friends in Mexico used to say, their phrase is "heco en chino." It is no good, no muy bien. Mexico doesn't like Chinese made goods, but it is a conduit. The other thing you're seeing is there was one company that was making a product in China. They just picked up the production line and all the parts and moved it to Mexico. And the US government went back and fined them and said, no, 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 you're still making these goods, so we'll let you bring it in duty free under USMCA. But because all you did was avoid the 301 duties and it's still essentially Chinese components, we're going to call it country of origin China, and you still owe me the 301 duties. Okay. So you're seeing a lot of different things like that play back and forth.
Thanks.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you. Any other questions? And Joe, what do you expect in regards to Argentina? I see the president of Argentina playing a lot with Trump and the upcoming administration, when Argentina has been pretty much of a a partner, a big partner of China, and China with South America overall. Do you see anything changing there, or have you read anything of what people might be speculating?
Well, I know Argentina wants to be a global player, but they still have to work on their economy there and determine what's going on. They've got a lot of rules and regulations in Argentina that make it tough for trade because and it's not a wrong thing. I'm not saying it's bad, but they're very protectionist with their own people. So they want to protect their own economy. They put a lot of trade barriers in place. If they truly want to be part of the global market, they'll turn around and they'll have to change some of those regulations.
Perfect. Thank you, Joe. And last question, Joe, tell us a bit more about prospect clients for you. How we can connect prospect clients, prospect partners. Let us know how they go. That matters.
Certainly say so. All right. Again, I'm Joe Burks with Vigilant Global Trade Services. And what we help companies do is navigate global trade by helping them with their issues within global trade. We are a global company. We've got offices in Asia as well as offices in Europe. So if you guys are having problems classifying your goods or knowing what the restrictions are or what you can or can't import or export, that's where you can reach out to Vigilant Global Trade Services and we'll help you with that.
In that regard, Joe, this is Dwight Winkler, and that I've got a long history in global trade financing, mitigating global trade risk, and that credit terms as an international credit manager. So in the course of your work and business in that, if you have transactions where a financing element is needed, short term to medium term, even long term, it doesn't matter. And that, but if the client needs to mitigate those risks and build his revenue without having to worry about getting paid, then I would suggest just give me a shout, and I'd be happy to have a conversation with you about that opportunity.
Certainly will, Dwight. Thank you.
Thank you, Dwight, and thanks again, Joe. You
My
talked a
pleasure.
little bit about the CHIPS Act, and actually one of the speakers today was planning to cover a little bit of that, and that's Dr. Ivan Demostin. And Ivan, I don't know, I see you're in the room. I don't know if you're able to speak now, but we were talking about. So Ivan is from Global Chamber Cincinnati, and he's the founder and CEO of Hamilton Demo. He's an executive recruiting firm, and he was telling us about the opportunities following the CHIPS Act. Again, Ivan, I don't know if you're able to speak now.
Yes, I'm having a little technical difficulty. Can you guys see me?
We can see you and we can hear you well.
All right. Cesar, thanks. And it's good to see some faces, especially Mr. Dwight. Dwight, long time no talk.
Yeah, you haven't changed a bit.
Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, Mr. Burke, thank you for your presentation and what you shared with us. So the Chips and Science Act, for those of you that are not aware, was created by the Biden administration and Congress truly to support the bringing back the production and growth of the manufacturing for the microchip and microelectronics industry. And so those billions of dollars are here to support that through grants and other formations for these organizations. And I have the pleasure of being in these discussions for the past year, where my company, Hamilton Demo, we focus on executive search, professional development, workforce development, and a big portion of the Chips and Science Act is to provide support to the workforce development, to the industry, and to those institutions that are assisting in developing individuals to take part in the manufacturing. So, yeah, Cesar, is there anything in particular you'd like me to touch upon?
Thank you, Ivan. Anything else you want to add in terms of how is the industry of research, all that? Is there anything in for the time of the year and you're like that there, that would be great.
Yeah, I apologize. Can you guys hear me? Because Cesar was going in and out on me. Yes, so feel free. Yeah. Okay. Okay, great. So I will say that part of the Chips and Science Act created a network of consortiums throughout the country, and my main partner is the Midwest Microelectronics Consortium, and the focus for the consortiums at the moment are really for the major plants, as Mr. Burke had Joe Bert had mentioned before, that here in Ohio, the Intel plant in Columbus, outside Columbus, is projected to be about a $20 billion facility once it's done. And if you guys ever have the chance to come to the Midwest, I would definitely suggest, and if you can make it, drive by, because I don't think you'll ever see anything like it. It is amazing to see. And the 3,000 to 5,000 workers that it's projecting to have, that workforce, they're hoping day one will come on board in 26, 27. As of now, that could change, but even the techs are anticipated to come on board and make income of over six figures, even as technicians on the floor. So a lot of great things going on. And in particular, Stanford, USC, Arizona, Ohio State, Purdue, as well as other learning institutions, they have already began the process of providing that training and education for that. I think all in all, with Intel, other major manufacturers, and smaller companies and subcontractors, they're predicting upwards of over 100,000 people here in the next few years to enter the industry as well. So if anyone's interested in learning more, or how you are able to be involved in this, I can definitely facilitate and make introductions to the consortium. And again, those monies for the creation of programs, for the development of your company, for the microelectronics, microchip industry, and the building of construction such as clean rooms, they can support through those funds and grants created by the Chips and Science Act.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Ivan. Any questions out there for Ivan?
Yeah.
Sorry, Cesar, my hand raising thing, I didn't click it on time. May I ask a quick question?
Sure.
Sure, go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, so Doctor, you mentioned that it sounds like a great workforce that you are fielding here. Where are you drawing your talent from?
So actually, the talent right now, where we're drawing it from, is everywhere, right? So the focus is not just short term, but long term. So not only are we looking at those in the professional and executive fields and other industries to bring their transferable skills. We're also looking at those that are currently in higher ed and vocational schools. So these can be more traditional and even non-traditional students. So if you're a freshman at the University of Cincinnati or Ohio State or somewhere else, there's some qualifications that can happen and some certifications. As a matter of fact, with that being said, the state of Ohio, Governor DeWine has recently created a certification for those that are interested in becoming technicians to gain this certification as an entry into the industry. And we are in the process of sharing that information and getting the word out. So we have people in the automotive industry, to the service industry, to technology. Everybody has the opportunity to get this and begin an understanding of everything within this sector. And when I say we're looking at everyone, there's even a plan for this education and learning to begin from K through 12. So yes, so this goes very, very deep. This as far as the consortium is concerned, this is the future.
That's great. Thank you.
Yes, my pleasure. And Cesar, again, apologies for the technical issues because I'm on my phone. Would you mind sharing my information with everyone in the chat?
I will. And actually, I need to apologize. My internet is not working properly, so that's why I turned off my video off. But Ivan, thank you for the opportunity. And just like with Joe, last question: what type of connections we can make for you? Putting that semiconductor opportunity aside, what other things we should have in mind for you?
Oh, thank you so much. So yeah, I help companies fill roles and I do executive placement. I really recruit anything from hourly to the boardroom. So if you come across any small, medium, large company that's having a hard time filling a role or they're expanding and need help, please think of me because I can help from New York to California. And I will share that I'm a salesperson at heart. I identify as a salesperson. So I'm always happy to share in any revenue that's generated from an introduction. That's actually one of my funnest things to do is sit down with someone over lunch or dinner or go visit them and share in the prosperity. So yeah, please feel free to connect me.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Ivan. And Dr. Kristina Wachter, before we transition to the next speaker, now you asked a question, why don't you introduce yourself for a minute? That would be great.
Okay, thanks. That's what I get for opening my mouth. I'm on the spot immediately. No, that's great. I'm glad to speak.
That's always good. That's always good. That's why we want here. So,
are there any other women here? Just a quick question.
Next speaker is Ghazal. So yes,
boys club today. Well, I am Kristina Wachter, and I am the founder and CEO of Cross Culture Connections, and I teach people at all levels of business how to communicate across cultures. And I do this at an international level as well as a domestic level. So I basically show people how they can communicate so that they get a higher ROI on their global investments and their domestic cross-country investments in terms of human capital and getting people to stay, looking at attrition and the high rates, countering that by getting people to immerse themselves culturally. So, that in my comments? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much, Kristina. Thanks for joining us today.
Pleasure.
You were asking about another women, and actually Ghazal Khorshidi, she's presenting, and I saw Ghazal just connected. Welcome, Ghazal. Are you there?
Oh, good. I didn't see Ghazal before.
Yes, I am here.
Oh, good. I'm glad, Ghazal. Good to have another one of the women.
Thank you. Your question was so on time. I just jumped on you asked that question. So I'm happy that I jumped on time to support you when you asked that good question.
Thank you.
Thank you both. And Ghazal, I think you're with Doug, right? You're in a meeting with Doug at Thunderbird, and you're just exited the room for 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was at the meeting. So yeah, no, there was like a little bit of confusion on my side. I had to come to this other event at Heard Museum. That is today is the Arizona Mexico Commission event. So, and then I had the privilege of kind of being invited here, and then I had to miss the opportunity of spending more time with Doug and Global Chamber members. So, well, I stepped out of that other meeting to come and join this call.
We appreciate that. We're all busy, so thank you. And Ghazal, so welcome. And she's part of Thunderbird School of Global Management, a huge partner for us, and where actually our main offices are located at. So Ghazal, welcome, and let us know a little bit about opportunities right now with Thunderbird and what we can be looking from you in 2025.
Will do. I also see our alum on the call, Dwight. Good to see you here. And anyone else is also an alum. Oh, Philip, thank you. And I don't recognize or I don't see you on my screen. I apologize. And also, I think my colleague Rami is going to be here. So after my piece, if you have any further questions, Rami would be
Did we lose Ghazal?
Yeah, she froze up.
Yeah, I think it was my internet. Okay, so let's see, Ghazal, just in case we lost you there.
Am I back?
You're back.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
I'm sorry. So yes, I do have some opportunities for you, but then for the members of Global Chamber. But before that, let me maybe just share a few points about where we're heading and what is kind of like the global scale trends of education. So, well, in terms of global education, I don't think much is happening that is not happening in other industries. A lot of global digital transformation, teaching and learning through AI, and a lot of personalization. Another trend that is quiet, common in other industries. In education, that means a lot of macro certificates and generally speaking micro learnings, and also a general move towards developing soft skills versus hard skills. A huge focus on sustainability and also inclusivity and accessibility, and so on and so forth. Then, as you mentioned, I work at Thunderbird. I am the Senior Director of Executive Operation and Community Outreach, hence my pleasure of being the point of contact for Global Chamber. So at Thunderbird, what we do to make sure that we stay on top of the game, of course, we have always focused on educating and training the global future leaders, and that is with a focus on business education as well as improving what we call the global mindset. Then we focus a lot on fostering innovation and entrepreneurship through many avenues. Of course, the social impact side of Dreamcatcher, Dream Builder, but also we do have a Mazarin Center that focuses on family business and entrepreneurship. There is a huge focus on culture and cross-border competency through many tools, including our GMI, which is GDMI, which is the global mindset tool that our alumni are familiar with, the initiative that Dr. Mansoor Javidan has been leading with another set of faculty. Did I lose you? Do I still have you sometimes? Okay.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good.
We are very active in fostering and developing the global community. Those of you who follow Thunderbird know that we recently went through a leadership transition. And we actually moved from a wonderful leader to another wonderful leader, and that is our sheer luck. But this transition did not affect our commitment towards the global community in terms of re-engaging with our global alumni network, and as well as supporting and being the convener of the local global organizations, including Global Chamber. We put a lot of value in inclusive excellence through our Share Fellowship program, which is basically our highest and the most prestigious kind of like scholarship program. It's a full ride at 100 million learners platform, which is kind of like fully funded platform for those of the people who would like to get high quality education and training in terms of in business and entrepreneurship. The very specific kind of aspect of this platform is that it is available in 40 languages. Also, we have personalized programs on micro learning opportunities through our executive education team that is demonstrated through our custom programs for companies and corporations, as well as the new huge open enrollment portfolio that we had. With this, I would like to mention that we value the partnership from every one of you, and this partnership can manifest in so many different ways. If you're interested in upskilling and reskilling within your organization, we would love to talk to you. I mean, Rami, who I just will kind of like introduce later, is the right person to talk to through our open enrollment program or our custom kind of executive education programs. Our executive education team recently actually developed a very good corporate package that would consider that would kind of like make our programs far more achievable, far more accessible for the local organizations who would like to partner with us. Apart from all the organizations, corporates and kind of like a small to medium organizations, also government agencies, non-government agencies, educational institutions are the other members of the society or the business society that we are looking forward to engage with. And as for partners, we are always happy to extend special offers. So as an example, I can tell you that the members of the Global Chamber in a very long standing agreement would get $30,000 in a scholarship for our MGM program, Master of Global Management program. That is our flagship degree program. And $20,000 in a scholarship for any of our executive programs, the DC program, that is EMAGM program in DC, or the executive MGM program here. Another offer that I have that goes back to our executive education is that the Global Chamber members can actually can enroll in any of our open enrollment programs at 50% discount. And the two additional offers is of course, the 100 million learners platform. And the last one, which is not the least, is the opportunity of doing a free consultation with one of our Global Chamber lab groups. And what is Global Chamber lab groups? The Thunderbird old-timers would recognize it as TEM Lab. And this is like a group of 6-7 students who work under the direct supervision of a faculty and work with an organization or a company to address their real problems and just like kind of like offer solutions for that. We are very honored to have esteemed organizations like Arizona District Export Council as one of our kind of like consistent organizations as client organizations for GCL. And it just Marcus Mucker Corporation, if you know them. LG is one of them. So we also would like to offer that to global chamber organizations. With that, I'd like to open it up to any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Ghazal. Anyone with a question? Or Dwight or Philip, if you want to comment on Thunderbird, that would be great as well.
Well, having taken one of the modules in the 100 Million Learners program, the entrepreneurship, I did that about a little over a year ago. I must attest to the fact that it was a awesome program done over on my schedule and that over a number of weeks in that, and it was quite good just to you know, brush up on things because it's been a while since I was at Thunderbird on that. I'm the old campus, by the by. But yeah, no, Thunderbird has been instrumental in my entire career, so I can only attest to that fact.
Thank you, Dwight. Perfect. Giselle, I'm going to ask you to send me the information in the follow-up email that we usually send to make it all, officially there. That would be great. And Rami, welcome, Rami. If you want to just introduce yourself, say a few words, that would be great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. So nice to meet all of you. Some of you I know. My name is Rami Scudi. I started as a program manager with Thunderbird a little bit over a year ago, and I just switched roles to business development. So any of the points that Ghazal highlighted, I'll share the open enrollment portfolio. A lot of really great programs, really exciting programs that are just really competitive and on demand, like AI and intelligence transformation, digital transformation. The space program is really unique as well. So I'll share that in there, and if any of you being members of the global chambers, you're entitled to 50% discount. So if it's something you're interested in, please, I put my information in the chat, and I'll also share the open enrollment portfolio. And I'm also going to be an alum halfway through my my executive MBA. Executive EMGM, Executive Masters in Global Management.
Excellent.
Nice
Thank
to meet
you.
all of you. Yeah.
Thank you. Nice meeting you, Rami.
Thank you.
Okay. Before we move, any questions for Giselle or Rami? Okay, perfect. So we're gonna be sharing that info in a follow-up. Thanks again, Giselle and Rami. Last speaker is gonna be Guillermo Acuña. Guillermo represents a company that's called Joemed, and Joemed is a conglomerate in Sonora, Mexico, and their CEO, Julio Pablos, has been a member for I would say something around 6 or 7 years now, and he's always involved in the projects, and he's an amazing person to work with in Mexico. And I told him, let's have you in the League of Opportunities, and he sent Guillermo because he wasn't able to be here today, but Guillermo is going to be covering maybe an overall of the different things that they're doing, but they're just specific project I saw in an email. Guillermo, welcome, and thank you for joining us today.
Hi everyone. Thank you, Cesar, for that amazing introduction. Yeah, so I'm representing right now UAMED. But this particular project that we're working on currently is called SOWELL, which is a medical tourism agency that we have right now. Cesar, I have a presentation. I don't know if I can share that.
Yeah. If you click in the green button there, you should be able to share your screen.
Okay, let's see. Okay, can you guys see my presentation here?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So well, let me tell you about this project a little bit. We've been working with SOWELL for 2 years now. This is a company that started with the idea of helping people from United States and Canada that they are not able to probably afford a medical procedure over there in the United States because it can be sometimes too expensive. So medical tourism, that's what it stands for, like bringing people or going to some other parts of the world to have medical procedures for probably 60 or 80% less than it originally costs in the US or in the origin country. Okay, so let me get started with this. We are located in Sonora, which is border with Arizona. Okay, and well, these are some of the opportunities and trends worldwide that we are looking at in 2025, which is the rising healthcare costs in the US and Canada, because the increasing cost of healthcare in these countries is continuing to push patients to explore affordable alternatives abroad. So in the north of Mexico, is strategically positioned to provide high quality, cost-effective medical services to North American patients seeking savings without compromising the special care. The other one is demand for specialized treatments, because patients are increasingly seeking specialized procedures such as dental care, cosmetic surgeries, orthopedic treatments, and bariatric surgeries, all of which we excel in. And some advances in medical technology and trained professionals enable us to meet these demands effectively. So we actually have some agreements with some hospitals here in the north of Mexico. They have some state-of-the-art technology, and they are worldwide recognized with some certifications. It's also integration of wellness and tourism. There is a growing interest in combining medical procedures with wellness experiences. Our proximity to cultural landmarks, natural hot springs, and coastal resorts positions us to provide an attractive recovery and wellness experience for patients, because there are many natural resources here nearby, and that is a good plus. There is also technology and virtual consultations. The rise of telemedicine has transformed patient care. Patients can now consult with specialists virtually before traveling, ensuring transparency and trust. So we're leveraging these tools to simplify decision making for our international patients. And what role are we playing in this industry? So we serve as a trusted bridge between international patients and top-tier healthcare providers in the north of Mexico. So our mission is to deliver high quality, affordable, and accessible medical care tailored to the needs of patients from the US and Canada and the rest of the world. So we have comprehensive care coordination. We offer a seamless experience from initial consultations and treatment planning to travel arrangements and post-procedure follow-up. So we are with the patient from the initial consultation, which is like probably a virtual consultation, until the patient goes home. And also partnerships with leading specialists. We collaborate with certified hospitals and clinics equipped with state-of-the-art technology and internationally trained specialists to ensure world-class outcomes. And also patient-centric approach. We prioritize patient safety, comfort, and transparency, fostering trust and satisfaction at every step of the journey. And some of the plans for 2025 are expanding some specialized services, developing some recovery and wellness packages, also, and some marketing expansion as well. And who do we want to connect with? We actually want to connect with patients from the US and Canada. We aim to connect with individuals and organizations that aligned with our mission of providing exceptional, affordable healthcare services. Specifically, we are looking to build relationships with, as I mentioned before, patients from the US and Canada, healthcare facilitators and referrers, employers and corporations, because business can be interested in offering medical travel as part of employee benefits packages to reduce healthcare costs while providing access to premium medical care. Also, partnerships with providers, probably hospitals, clinics, and wellness centers in the United States and Canada, seeking reliable partners to refer patients to specialized treatments, and some industry advocates and influencers. So yeah, that would be the project that we have. I don't know if you guys have any.
Perfect. Thank you, Guillermo. Any questions out there for him?
Yeah, if I may, Cesar, this is Dwight.
Sure.
I have a client that is currently operating stem cell therapy clinics in Mexico.
Okay, what part?
Let me just keep it, high level at this point. And that, but he has been for a number of years in that operating stem cells. So we might have a basis to have a further conversation if you're facilitating getting clients connected with a therapy clinic, and that. Okay. But it's has a wide array of treatments, and that it's been in existence for several years, both in America as well as elsewhere. And that's so they're currently operating. So that might be of value. The same entity, and that, if I may, Cesar, can I just add what I'm currently looking for?
Yeah, sure. Right.
Okay, I'm currently in the market. This is a Southeast Asia requirement. I'm looking for possible investors in a advanced cancer therapy treatment center based on stem cells, and that in Southeast Asia, and that looking for somebody that's willing to invest $3 million, excuse me, sorry, $3 million for a 40% stake in the operation. And that's, I'm looking for connections with either venture capital or other investors that might have an interest in taking up a position in that. So that's, it's to kind of tie on with your presentation. And that's, so I am working in the sort of stem cell arena, and I do have an active requirement based on what I just mentioned, and that for looking for funding to the amount that I mentioned. So I just thought I would bring that up since it kind of tied in with your presentation.
Yeah, there are actually very few clinics that offer stem cell treatments here in Mexico. It's actually, I think, like 3 or 4 only. Yeah, your friend must be one.
They've been active for a few years in that, and so it's a proven platform both in Mexico as well as, I mean, they're US based, and that's where the technology is coming from, but they operate elsewhere apart from just Mexico.
Okay, great.
Perfect. Thanks for sharing that, Dwight. I'm gonna follow up and see who else we can connect you with around in the region. Not only in the region, but about the opportunity.
Yeah, well, if I may be specific in that, and maybe I don't want to get sidetracked here, but anyone to do with the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank would be helpful, please.
Okay, we'll take a look at that. Perfect. Any other questions for Guillermo? And if not, Guillermo, may I ask you, just for a minute, can you cover the other projects or companies that are under GeoMed?
Yeah, sure. Well, I'm not very familiar with all the projects because I'm in charge of this one specifically.
Okay, so sorry to put you on the spot. But
what is that?
Sorry to put you in this. I thought you were kind of helping Julio with different projects. Sorry for that. But if you can speak briefly about the others, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. So there is this entrepreneur department in the UMED group. And we have different projects over there that we're developing. This Sowell Medical Tourism is one of them. The other one is called Carmico, which is a bacanora, it's like an alcohol drink, which is probably like tequila, but it's made here in Sonora. So tequila has the name of tequila because it's made in Guadalajara, Jalisco. So that's why it takes that denomination. But if it's made in Sonora, it takes the name of Bacanora. So that's one of the projects, and the other one is some cleaning product. would lie to you. I don't really know
Yeah.
what that does. All right. And the last one is a called Salus Nutrition, which is like this gym protein and pre-workout like powder that you drink to get some more energy, right? So probably the next session I can tell you a little bit more about that.
Yeah, no, thank you, Guillermo. I'm gonna ask Julio to send if he has some sort of a document summarizing all, because it's very interesting, and he's always looking not only in the US but also, you know, in other countries, Asia. I think he goes to China once a year, so it's very interesting what he's doing. Thanks, Guillermo. Since we have 7 minutes left and the group is being a little bit smaller today, I would like to allow like a, you know, 30 seconds elevator pitch from everyone else. And so I would like to start with Philip Auerbach. I haven't seen you in a while, so welcome, Philip. Can you introduce yourself for 30 seconds?
Yes, hello everyone. Sorry, I had to leave during part of the call because I got a fraud alert on my credit card. Just
Oh,
delightful issue to handle.
well,
So yes, hi, my name's Philip Auerbach. My company conveniently is called Auerbach International, which is not my own ego. My ex-wife invented the name. We're headquartered in the Bay Area, used to be in San Francisco itself. We're now in suburban San Francisco, and I am in Philadelphia in our East Coast office. And we empower companies to use language to connect cultures or to expand business opportunities worldwide. And primarily that does involve some global marketing, which all of you would certainly understand, and most Americans haven't got a clue about. But also, we primarily do what's colloquially called translating and interpreting, localizing, dubbing, subtitling, anything to do with languages, 120 of them, I should say just the top 120. And we do it with A+ accuracy and perfection, which AI solutions do not do. And a lot of people are under a misconception that AI works well. It does work well in many cases, but obviously, if you don't speak the language, you don't know where it's making you look terrible
yeah,
to its mistakes.
yeah, excellent. It definitely needs some human help for sure.
I'm sorry, say
Thank
that again,
you.
please, Cesar.
No, definitely it's human eye and in translations, so done by AI. It's some human eyes in it. So
Yes.
that's important. Thank you, Philip. Rick.
Yeah.
Rich Wolverton.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Hey, Rich Wolverton. Yeah, my company,
Sorry
Grow
about that,
Foods.
yeah.
Oh, mute. I'm demuted. Okay. Yeah, company Grow Food Service. We help companies get into food service in the United States, get into distribution, and you know that's a quick story. I put my LinkedIn information in the chat, but yeah, we've made some contacts, helped a few companies through Global Chamber, and yeah, even if somebody just wants to chat about issues or potential of doing business in food service, especially in the US, you know, we'd love to help. Thanks.
Thank you, Rich.
Thank you.
Jim, can you introduce yourself for half a minute? Jim, you're
Oh,
there you
yeah,
go.
you gurgled. First of all, Cesar, get a hold of Doug. I just came off another global networking event. One of the things we found very, very interesting in chatting, maybe it should come up here too, is how do you and your clients anticipate short run and long run with everything that's going on in the globe? Anything. What I do, my name is Jim Cook. We work with startups and what we call first to markets, the Ubers, Instacarts, and such. We take them from foundation, launch, traction, optimize. We get them to the investor level, and then we get fired because all the investors, no matter what level, bring in their own people. That's what we do.
There you go. Eduardo, I'm not sure, Eduardo, if you can speak. Eduardo Gonzalez.
Yes, I can, but my camera is boycotting Zoom today. So
No worries, we can hear you well.
so 30 seconds. I'm a recuperating Mexican government official that has worked for the Mexican government in foreign direct investment and export promotion. I have been a private consultant for the past 5 years, basically focusing on contract manufacturing solutions for companies in Mexico. So we help companies replace their Chinese suppliers or help them develop suppliers with their ideas. Yeah, happy to be here, happy to help anyone, and I'll put my link in the chat.
Thank you. We have Patience, my wife. Patience is a new member working with food, I believe. Patience, can you speak? And if not, let's move then to Juan. Juan, we're speaking tomorrow. Juan Carlos is a soon to be member of the Global Chamber. Juan Carlos, can you introduce yourself for half a minute?
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Cesar. So, hello, my name is Juan Carlos Rodriguez. I'm the CEO and founder of DS Leaders. What we do is basically enable talent development through science-based tools. And our latest product is a platform that allows managers to understand and receive precise information on how to enable their employees, how to communicate with them, and how to increase their productivity with precise instructions, knowing their talents, their motivators, and the how to and how not to connect with them. So that's our latest. So a pleasure to meet you all. Very interesting group of people. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Juan Carlos. Doug, I see you're here, Doug. So maybe you can have the words.
Hey, everybody. Doug Brunke, founder and CEO of Global Chamber here at Thunderbird. So it was great to see Ghazal and Rami talk. I'm here in the office, but up on the 5th floor, there's a Entrepreneur Week event hosted by ASU at Thunderbird, and there's several companies pitching. And so I'm going to head back up there in a few minutes. Ghazal, thank you for your leadership with Global Chamber, including on our advisory board here in Phoenix. And Rami, congratulations on your soon to be business degree, along with all the good work that you're doing at Thunderbird. It's never been this important to be part of the world, to be integrated into global business. It's going to be the biggest year, undoubtedly, next year ever in global business. And so thank you all for being involved with Global Chamber. We look forward to helping and supporting your success going forward. And if you ever need any help, you've got some ideas you want to kick around, there's some specific people that you want to meet, we're happy to help. Cesar spends a lot of time every day. In fact, he and I get together at least once a week. I think it's either Wednesday or Thursday at a certain time. We've got a block time in addition to all the other times we interact with, we just talk about introductions. Like, how are we doing? Who do we need to introduce? What are the current ones that we have that we'd like to be able to solve and to figure out and to get to the next level through a warm connection? So it's something we're very serious about. And so feel free to reach out. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your evening. Back to you, Cesar. It's quite late there in Puerto Rico.
It is quite late, and I actually have a meeting right now. So it's been quite a week. But I just noticed Terry Levine. Sorry, Terry, if you can just introduce yourself for 30 seconds, that would be great before I close out the event. Not sure if Terry is there. And if not, then, well, thank you, everyone. Thanks for the speakers. I really appreciate it. And we will be following up with some introductions. We'll be following up with the presentations of everyone who share a presentation. We'll be sharing with other members. And And we invite you all in 15 hours. We have the second part of League of Opportunities tomorrow with another 4 members presenting. So thanks again, everyone. Have a good rest of your day or good morning.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
From
Thank
Hong
you.
Kong.
Everyone,
Thank
take
you.
care.
Have a good
Take
one.
care.
Bye now.
Cheers. Bye bye.
Buenas noches.